We're going to begin this section talking about buyer objections, some issues that may surface as a result of the new world in which we work with the buyer agency agreements. The first objection is, I can't or I won't pay a buyer broker. The dialogue should be something like this. I understand your concerns, Tony, and I appreciate them. You know, I am going to be devoting, if we choose to work together, I'm going to be devoting a considerable amount of time and energy, between 50 and 100 hours, to helping you find a home and making sure that you get involved in a purchase in a way that works for you. I don't get paid unless and until you purchase a home and you're at the closing table and you're perfectly happy with all of the terms and conditions, including a resolution of the buyer agency fee. Generally, when we make an offer, if we have a concern about paying the buyer agency fee, we simply incorporate it into the contract and ask the seller to participate in the payment of those fees for you or on your behalf. In the event that you reach an impasse with the seller about the payment of those fees, in other words, that fee is still there and no one's willing to pay for it, you know, at that point in time we may have to move on to another home, but that is considerably rare. Most of the time we're able to figure out a way to do that by asking the seller what their bottom line is and then simply adding your cost to that number and affording you an opportunity to finance that fee as part of the purchase of the home. It's a system that we've used in the past and it works well. Sometimes a buyer may say to you, I just want to see a few houses, and we can say to them, I understand, Tony, but we can adjust the terms of this agreement to a shorter time period or to a limited number of houses, or perhaps even to just one. And if things work out and we're comfortable with one another, we can choose to extend the agreement if the relationship is working well and we agree that it would be beneficial to both of us. The third objection is, nobody ever did this way before. Recent shifts in the industry, the response is, recent shifts in the industry have changed the way agents and consumers work together. I am not permitted to show you any homes without a buyer's agreement that explains to you our relationship, nor incidentally is any other agent. And it's important that you understand your rights and how my services are well defined and understood. Your interests are best met with clear representation and solid agency relationships. The fourth objection is, why don't I just work with the listing agent? The response is that the listing agent represents the seller, and their duty and loyalty is to the seller. The seller's agent has no obligation to help you avoid expensive mistakes, perhaps most importantly, overpaying for the home. The seller's agent is obligated to their client to get as much money as possible and the best terms for the seller as possible. I will look out for your interest, negotiate in your behalf regarding price, terms, and concessions, and also negotiate repairs and inspection issues on your behalf if we work together. The fifth objection is called, I don't want to work with one agent. And the response that we would recommend to you is to ask what we call a clarifying question. And it might be, Tony, there's obviously a reason you feel that way. May I ask what it is? And try to figure out what it is that they feel about that situation or that environment that benefits them. Because the truth be told, if everybody's working for you, nobody's working for you in the real estate business. And the agents know that. If you've got a buyer who's out there willy-nilly just showing houses, being shown houses by a variety of different agents, the agents know that their chances of getting paid are very, very slim. And of course, they're going to have to be involved in an agency agreement with whoever's showing them these houses on an individual basis. So it's not really in their best interest. And the other thing is, don't be shy when responding to these objections and say, you know, I'm going to be investing hundreds of hours in trying to help you purchase a home if we agree to work together exclusively. And I can provide this best service for you when I know that the loyalty goes both ways. The sixth objection is I can't pay a buyer broker fee. Say, I understand that there isn't enough cash on the table for you, Tony, to make a buyer agent fee work, okay? And with your permission, we're going to limit your property search to homes that offer to pay buyers closing costs, including buyer agent fees. In other words, this is not going to become an issue because we're going to know walking in the door that the seller is willing to at least hear us out on the payment of these fees. Also, should you choose to make an offer on a property that's not offering a buyer brokerage fee, perhaps there will be one out there, we can negotiate my fee as a concession from the seller. Objection number 7 is a simple objection, and it demands a simple response. It just simply, sometimes buyers are just simply going to say, I don't want to sign anything, or I'm not going to sign anything, I just want to see the house. Say, I understand completely, but as a result of recent legislation and litigation, etc., we cannot show any houses to anybody, including the listing agent cannot show you the home without an agreement being signed of some kind. Okay, this is objection number 8, in which is I'll just hire an attorney to represent me. And I appreciate that, Tony. Attorneys can definitely assist you with contract writing and also negotiate in your behalf. But there's many things that they do not deal with on an ongoing or daily basis in our industry, like inspection issues, financing, down payment requirements, appraisal negotiations, repairs, possession, closing issues that arise, and other real estate specific negotiations. And we feel we can do a much better job in terms of professionally representing you as a purchaser because we are licensed real estate professionals who work in our jobs on a daily basis.